Your future is not shaped by your decisions, but by the hidden patterns behind those decisions, about which you were never told. Or if you believe you are in control of your life, this video will make you uncomfortable. Because the truth is completely different. We all believe that whatever we are is the result of our hard work, our thinking, and our choices. But psychology says something else. It says that the choices we make are not formed in the present. They come from those patterns of our past that we never even tried to understand. Today's video is about those very silent psychological patterns, which, without making any sound, quietly decide your future. Most people believe that their future is shaped by their dreams, hard work, and decisions. But psychology suggests something very different. It says that human decisions are often not as free as we think, because hidden mental patterns quietly work in the background, constantly directing our choices. What we think, what we choose, and how we react is not random. It comes from layers of past experiences built over many years, childhood fears, unmet needs, and suppressed emotions that we were never taught to truly understand. When a child is repeatedly ignored, when their emotions are labeled as weakness, or when love is given only under conditions, the mind forms a conclusion. To stay safe, I must suppress myself or change who I am. This conclusion does not remain as a memory. It turns into a habit. And that habit later shows up in relationships, self-worth, and life decisions, where the person unknowingly chooses what once caused them familiar pain. The human brain does not seek truth first. It seeks safety. That is why it prefers familiar paths, even harmful ones, because familiar pain feels safer than the unknown. This is why many people keep falling into the same kinds of relationships, repeating the same mistakes, and telling themselves that maybe next time things will be different, while in reality, they are simply replaying the same mental pattern. Carl Jung said that until the unconscious is made conscious, it will continue to direct your life, and you will call it fate. Without realizing it, a person becomes part of the very cycle they believe they are powerless against. When someone asks, "Why does this always happen to me?" the question is not about destiny. It is about a pattern they have unknowingly nurtured within themselves, a pattern that activates automatically in every situation. These patterns do not give loud commands. They subtly bend decisions. They make you feel what you have felt before. They create the illusion of choice, while in reality, you are reacting. And here lies the most unsettling truth. If our decisions are coming not from the conscious mind, but from old patterns, the real question is no longer what we choose, but whether we are truly choosing at all. And if our present is being driven by mental structures formed in the past, it becomes easy to assume that our future is also moving in the same silent direction, without our awareness, without any warning. This is where a deep and uncomfortable question is born, one that forces us to think. If these mental patterns are so powerful, can a human being ever break free from them? Or has the future already been decided? When a person starts believing that their future is already decided, they fail to see that it is not the future that is fixed, but a fixed mental reaction, one that forces every new situation to be viewed through the lens of past experiences. Repeated heartbreak in relationships, attraction toward the wrong people, or feeling uncomfortable when real love appears, these are not emotional misfortunes. They are the result of patterns that were once created for protection. Someone who had to struggle for love in childhood often learns to associate struggle with love itself. Peace then feels boring, while chaos feels familiar, even when it is slowly breaking them from the inside. The same pattern appears in careers. Some people repeatedly hold themselves back, doubt themselves even when opportunities arise, because deep inside they carry the belief that they are not worthy of success. This should not be called self-doubt, but self-protection. The mind fears heights where the risk of falling feels greater, so it chooses safe failure over unsafe success. Many people believe they are lazy or undisciplined, when in reality they are fighting their own fear. A fear that is not trying to stop them from moving forward, but trying to protect them from breaking after moving forward. Overthinking and anxiety are not signs of weakness either. They are the marks of a mind that once lost control and now tries to stay safe by understanding everything in advance. Such a mind wants to plan every step of the future because it fears the unknown. and that fear prevents it from fully living in the present, turning life into a constant state of mental exhaustion. The most dangerous thing about these patterns is that they disguise themselves as logic and intelligence. They make a person feel they are being sensible, when in truth they are simply following old habits. Slowly, a person begins to tie their identity to these patterns and believes, "This is just who I am." But the truth is, they are not who they are. They became who they once needed to be. When identity and patterns start to feel the same, change begins to feel impossible. Because change does not just mean altering habits, it means facing the old fear the mind has been hiding for years. At that point, the question is no longer whether these patterns exist. The real question becomes whether a person wants to remain trapped in them or has the courage to face the uncomfortable truth that can become the beginning of real change. Breaking free from patterns does not mean destroying them. It first means accepting that they were not created from weakness, but from mental protection that was once necessary. And this acceptance becomes the first real beginning of change. Most people run from their patterns because they believe that changing them means admitting they were wrong. But the truth is, patterns are never wrong. They were simply designed for a time that has already passed. When a person learns to observe their behavior without blaming themselves, they begin to understand that their reactions are not their identity. This distinction alone creates the first feeling of freedom. When observation happens without judgment, the mind does not become defensive, and only when the mind feels safe does it begin to consider leaving old paths behind. Otherwise, every form of change feels like a threat. Real change begins when a person allows themselves to feel what they have been avoiding for years, because emotions that are never fully felt continue to control decisions from the inside. Avoiding pain strengthens patterns, but understanding pain weakens them. Once the mind realizes that the same danger no longer exists, it no longer needs the old protection. Many people believe healing means feeling good all the time. In reality, healing means feeling honestly, even when it is uncomfortable, heavy, or confusing. When a person starts looking at the inner layers they have suppressed for years, they realize that their present life has been nothing more than an extension of unfinished emotional experiences. This understanding slowly enters future decisions. The person learns to pause instead of react, and in that pause, for the first time, real choice becomes possible. Freedom does not come from a big decision. It comes from the small space that forms between an old pattern and a new response. And that small space holds the power to change the direction of an entire future. When a person understands that their future was not shaped by some mysterious fate, but by unseen patterns, fear begins to fade and a sense of responsibility emerges, one that is empowering. In the end, the future is not changed, it is lived differently. Because the moment silent mental patterns become visible, they lose their control, and for the first time, a person truly arrives in the present.